speed comparison of NAV 2009 R2 and 2013 Beta is going to be done by simply creating 100 sales orders and then posting them after that one also. So if we get a baseline here, I have a 2009 database, or R2 database, I just restored it in here. And if I go down and look at it, I have some objects in here that are intended for testing in here, and there's a few changes to the processor row center, and then there's this create sales order report. So what this report basically do, it will have create a new sales header, modify it, insert one line for the same item every time, release it, post the shipment and post the invoice, and it will repeat that 100 times in here, and then it will come up first with a confirm and then a message box after that one. So this one is for 2013. There's some delays on showing messages, so it will actually give better timing in here of the actual process, because confirm is a message that waits for the code to execute before it's shown. So if I run this one in here in the classic client, this one will be the first run, and as I start this one, it's showing all the progress bars in here, and this one is for the classic client in a SQL database, and the progress bar takes up a fair amount of time actually to show, and that's what's going to be disabled here in the second run. So this one took 22 seconds in here, and the message box came up. So if I go into here and in my spreadsheet put in like my classic with progress bar 22, I didn't remember what it was, 22 seconds in here. If I then go back and say, okay, let's run this one a second time, because now the object cache is loaded, and it will now go through and run the exact same process again, and I can get a second time. The classic client don't have that big an issue of running code first time or last time, because there's no compile involved or anything like that, like the Rotel client has. So in this case it was 20.7 seconds in here. So let's go put that in the spreadsheet also here, 20.7. Then let's try that with the 2009 R2 Rotel client in here. And I have a simple way of running this process in here. It's just running this report in here, and I basically just have to click the OK button in here, and it will compile objects for a while. So the first order takes a lot longer, and then it starts processing the orders in here. So this one took 20.6 seconds the first time. So let's add that in here. And go back and rerun it a second time now. This one clearly started faster. There was no delay. It just immediately started running the process in here. So that was 18.2 seconds now. And I was a little slower clicking that one. So 18.2 seconds running the second one. So in this case, it looks like the RTC is a little faster than the classic client. But let's go try some more in here, because the progress bar is really delaying the whole process in here, with a very high amount of updates in here. Is really destroying the performance on this test in here. So if I go look, I changed my variable in here, and now every progress window will actually not open, it won't update, nothing will actually happen in here. So when I save this one now and run my create sales order in here, this one again is in the classic client with the SQL database. Now there's no progress bar, it looks like it's not responding, but this one is pure CAL performance. Now there's no activity, so this one is now 14.3 seconds in here. And if I go look at it here, I'll put in like my classic client in here is 14.3 seconds. Let's try it again in the Rotel client. And again, it just sits and it's not having any progress bar that actually goes. So it looks like it's dead, but performance on this one is testing pure CAL performance. And the first time here, it would need to compile Code Unit 80 again. So it took 16.1 seconds in here. Clearly, even for the second run, a better time than the other one by limiting the amount of progress bar in here. If I run it one more time, I'll get a test where now there's no progress bar at all, and there's no objects to compile, so it will be the optimal speed here. And that was 15.9 seconds in here, so a little improvement, not much to compile in here. Let's try the same with the native database in here. So if I open up my classic client in here with the native database, I have a database here, and I have set up the cache to be 256 megabytes, and I have 128 megabytes of object cache in here. So this one is a change from normal, but it's to be more fair against the SQL database to optimize it. But else, it's a standard demo database. So let's go open up my objects in here and find my report in here. So this one is my new report, and if I can run that one, you go through and create that one. And it seems like the progress bar flips a lot faster here. So my first run was 11.4 seconds in here. Let's run it a second time with the progress bar enabled, because this one will not require to read the object to the object cache, so it will even perform better than the first time. 10.6 seconds now. Let's disable the progress bar and see what effect that actually will have. So if I go here and filter on my objects, I have to switch my license, I think. So if I go in here and change it to not show progress bar, and then run my create sales order process again in here. So now again, the client looks like it's dead, and it will say not processing and so on, but it's now testing pure CAL performance. And that was 6.3 seconds in here. And I can just try run it again. .6 seconds in here. So this one 6.6 and 5.5. So the classic client here is on the native database is clearly a lot faster, and especially pure CAL performance, because the database interface is so much faster running local in here. If I want to test the same thing in NAV 2009 in here, I have a very similar VirtualBox in here. If I look at it, they have 4 gig of RAM, 4 processors, and the one I have been running in 2009 have exactly the same setup. Both has Visual Studio installed and things like that one in here. So, but let's switch to this one in here and do 2013. Again, I have a brand new demo database in here. And let's just open up the classic client in here. And first thing to do is to import my objects here. So I got my new report, 50,000 in here, create sales order. And it's exactly similar to the other one, except this one has been upgraded to 2013 in here. So if I now run my Windows client that used to be called the Rotel client, I should be able to run the same process in here. I think its service is not started. No, there was an issue here. So now the Rotel client, and the code is currently set up to use all the progress bars in here. Is right now compiling the C# code to be able to execute all the CL code. And now it starts processing the orders in here. The confirm in the code ensures that the code will have finished before the confirm box actually shows up in here. And I'll get the proper time of when this code actually executes in here. So it took 27.8 seconds, and until I actually clicked my OK, it took 48 seconds in here. So it's 27 seconds in there. So if I go back here, I put in my first run was 27.8 seconds in here. Let's go do a second run and see what the time will be on that one. Now there's no C# code to compile. And it's now just going through and creating and posting orders in the system. So it's now 6.9 seconds in here, and it took a while before I clicked the OK, so the message box come up after the confirm in here. So this one was 6.9 seconds. And I can rerun this. That was the wrong virtual machine in here. I can rerun this process one more time just to confirm my results. My first run was not showing the progress bar. For some reason it stopped showing it after some time, and it actually ended up being so my processing finished, but it took actually almost 25 seconds before I got my client back in here. So I actually going to put this time in because that's how much time it took before I could actually use the client. So it was 26 seconds in here. If I now go and remove the progress bar in here, go to the classic client and I'll switch my license. Get to the right demo database here, and then go change my same setting with show progress bar down here. Again, the same changes are done. There actually even is a lot more progress bars because there's some additional posting for some account or cost posting, I think, added with additional Windows updates in here. But let's go here and run the posting of 100 simple orders. Now there's no progress bar. The client kind of seems dead, but it's now pure processing of orders, and it will have to compile the object here the first time. So that was 11 seconds, and it's probably right now since I got a time. So this one was now 11 seconds in here. And let's try to do a second run where I don't have to compile that object. Again, there's no progress bar, so it's pretty dead. This one was 6.3 seconds now. And if I click OK, I get the message box. So I probably looked at that one like 3 seconds. So let's run it one more time in here. 6.6 seconds and 7.5 before I clicked it. So this one is pretty much repeatable, like 6 seconds to post 100 sales orders. This one is tremendously fast. This one compared to my 2009 version, it performs as well as the native database almost. There is both application changes that for sure have improved the functionality in here, but there is also improvements to the whole SQL interface. So just comparing it, this one is, if I say that this time I want to see the difference between this one in here and I want to see it in percent, so it's 250% faster than the Rotel client in the other one. And even if I go compare against the SQL version of the classic client in here, so it will still be a lot faster than that one. So this one is 240% faster than the classic client in R2. So there's huge improvements in performance. This one, very simple tests, only running CAL code, posting sales orders. There's a fair amount of database traffic during that one, but the 2013 beta looked really fast compared to this one.